closer I got to Yunnan's border with Myanmar, the greener everything became. Tengchong is a place of boundless wetlands, rivers, and streams. But the geography here, the surrounding mountains, marshy flats, and the inexhaustible soil were all created by one thing: volcanoes. With boiling mud pits, active and extinct volcanoes, and luckily for me, hot springs. The locals often call it half water, half fire. Today, we will begin with the water, shown around by Nicholas, a teacher from Denmark, who has called this land of paradoxes home for nearly a decade.
We're pretty far west in Yunnan right now too, right? Very close to the Burmese-Myanmar border.
We're about 40 kilometers away from the border here, yeah. So we also have a lot of minorities in these parts.
Okay. And I guess if you're able to explore like in between the mountains too, you get these wetlands and lake areas too.
Yeah, yes.
It makes for a nice way to soak in the surroundings.
Yeah, bird watching too. The wetlands here are important for the migrating birds.
Okay.
It's an important stopover for them.
And you get quite a diversity. I mean, we've seen like a handful of different types of birds already. Some that very iconic sort of crane or egret, like resting on the edge of the wetlands with the mountains in the background, gives you that like very iconic imagery.
Yeah, definitely. So I think it's a very good idea that they try to protect this part to make sure that overfishing doesn't take place. There is food for the birds who use these wetlands.
Is fishing in these areas a common thing as well?
It used to be. I think now it's restricted.
Looking around, it makes sense how these wetlands and the nearby mountains are home to China's most diverse repository of wildlife. In all, there are 2,000 types of plants and nearly 800 different kinds of mammals, fish, and birds that live here. Nicholas and I are going to participate in an old wetland tradition that the locals half-jokingly call fish stomping. What we are doing is a recreation of the way people used to gather food in these wetlands. Covering a corner of the marsh with grass, you next gently make one hole where the light shines through. Once the trap is set, people begin stomping toward the opening, driving the unseen fish toward the hole, where hopefully they jump out. After exploring the wetlands, we traveled through the countryside and past troops of wild monkeys on our way toward Yunnan's own little ring of fire, the Tengchong National Volcanic Park. There are 97 active and extinct volcanoes in the area, and although the living vents are off limits, the extinct ones punctuate the landscape in dramatic fashion. 50 million years ago, 3 major Tengchong volcanoes spewed liquid rock across the surrounding plain, laying the foundations for the soil that today nurtures such natural abundance. The best way to explore them is from the air, which is also a conservation effort. The views are dramatic, but floating above in the balloons also steers tourists away from tromping through the protected forests below.
Everywhere I go, all I want to do is get to the highest point possible, because you get like such a nice vantage point over everything. And this, I mean, this is the best way to do it, I suppose. The only place in China that we have volcanoes.
Well, there should be some around the Tibetan plateau and especially near Pakistan.
There's massive craters inside of these. This is awesome to see from up here.
They are extinct.
Okay.
But the magma chamber is still around this area, further south now, which is that creates the hot springs that you can enjoy.
Oh, okay, so that's related exactly to this volcanic activity too.
It is.
So you see the forest, you see like the towns in the background. It's amazing the layers of mountains as they go as well too. I did not realize like the Gaoligong mountains were so intense.
They do look big from here, yeah. Very high.
I headed back to town to enjoy a dip in the volcanic hot springs. In this place of half water, half fire, soaking in these thermally heated pools, this true combination of fire and water seemed like the perfect ending to my day. I never ceased to be inspired by the incredible diversity of Yunnan's geography, and nowhere was this more apparent than in Tengchong. There is a feeling of wildness in the nature here, and the raw power of the volcanoes that shape this land is still tangible, leaving a lasting feeling of awe on those that come to see them. Thanks for watching. This was just one of the many incredible places I got to visit on my month-long journey across Yunnan. Like, share, and explore the rest of the province with me in this 12-episode series.